Today we're going to have a look at doing an iPhone SE screen change. So this is a customer that come in, they've cracked the screen. Doesn't appear to be anything else wrong with the device, so just a simple screen change. Okay, so we're going to get started. These are the tools that we use. So this is a pentalobe screwdriver. This is for the two bottom screws. You'll literally only use it for those. Standard Phillips, pair of tweezers, and I like to use a scalpel to get the screen up. You can use a prying tool, so you can use a flat tool like this if you want to as well, but as I say, I like to use the scalpel. So start off, two bottom screws. So what I'm going to show you is how lots of people think that putting screws in bags and whatnot's a good idea when it's not. I'm not a genius, I just keep them in the right order and I'll show you what I mean when I get into the phone. So with an SE, very similar to the 5, so you have to be very careful when you're pulling the screen up, simply because the home button flex cable isn't attached to the screen like on a 6. It is dangling loose, so it's attached directly from the screen to the bottom of the phone. So I'm going to actually use my prying tool for this because my scalpel isn't working. So you'll tend to find a lot of the time when the screens are cracked, it's difficult to get into the phone because the chassis has been damaged and it's pushed the screen. So I always like to go in the bottom corner. You can go in wherever you want. Okay, so we're in the phone. So see here the home button, it's connected down here. So there's a bit of a risk with an iPhone, with any iPhone with a Touch ID, simply because if you break it, the Touch ID will never ever work again. So you have to be very careful. So start off by taking up this little shield, which protects the home button. So I need to turn this phone off. So start off by getting that little shield up. Okay, so that's that done. So I always like to have a look, see if I've broken it, just because I'm quite paranoid like that. Then go for your Phillips. Now you shouldn't need any other screwdriver than this one for the rest of the repair. So for safety reasons, always unplug your battery first, because it will avoid from any short circuiting when you're putting your cables back in. So always start off with the battery. A lot of people on these models don't, but I think you can never be too careful. So you'll see what I mean with the screws. They're coming out in the order they're in, so I'm not putting them all in a big pot. I'm not, doing anything mystical with them. They're all going out in the order they're in, so I don't lose track of where they go. I don't lose track of where they should be. Okay, so shield up. You've got 3 connectors for this. So that's the connector for the front-facing camera flex, and your connector for your digitizer and touch. So let your screen off. You can ignore the phone for a bit now. So start off, I always like to go for the home button first. Little flap, get rid of your flap. 2 screws for the home button shield. Again, put it in the right order. Lots of people don't, and it causes them issues later, especially when you're trying to do it quickly. Then this is the bit where it can go a bit wrong, so you get your tweezers, put it underneath the home button flex, and then get the home button on the other side and just push it up out of the phone and grab it, and that's that done. Okay, so, and then for your front facing camera flex, again, keep your screws in the right order, just saves you some time later. And then a little bit different to an iPhone 6, for example. Here the shield's got 2 little kind of pins that go underneath. So pull that out and lift it up. And then the other one should just come out nice and easy with it. So, right, there we go. And that's your ear speaker. And then again, we'll get to work on the flex. So breaking the front facing camera flex is not so good in the first instance, but not the end of the world, because unlike your home button, you can replace it and it won't do any kind of lasting damage to the device. Obviously, if you break your home button, you'll never get your Touch ID back again, so the only way to resolve that is if the customer takes it to Apple. So, and then you've got 4 screws for the shield. So again, take them out, they're all the same, so you can just put them in a little pile. And then pull that up, that just comes off like that. So that's all the components taken off the screen. You can put that back to one side now. So what I like to do is, just to be on the safe side, I'll plug in my new screen to the device, just so I can give it a quick test and make sure it's not defective or has any, you know, dead digitizer lines or, you know, dead pixels on the LCD or anything like that, just so we can make sure the customer's getting a decent screen. So I'll plug the battery back in as well. Okay, so that's going in the background, and then we just wait for that to boot up. So I'll leave that there. Okay, so I'm not going to show you this bit because it's the customer's device, but everything seems to be working fine with the screen. Touch is okay, so we can get fitting the rest of the stuff back to the screen. So again, always unplug your battery before you do anything with the phone. So my nails aren't big enough. So a lot of screens will come with the little rivets for the camera and the proximity sensor. Ours don't, because we buy refurbs and the company we use doesn't provide them. And you'll get a lot of flick up like that, so always make sure you keep an eye on. I have a big pot of spares. Always keep your spares, because you never know when things like that happen and it goes on the floor and you lose it forever and ever. Okay. Then we pop the shield back on, which has the front facing camera flip. Lost my rivet, but we'll pop that back in. And then it's just a case of positioning everything back where it needs to go. So everything's got a little hole or a little divot. So that is that back in. So again, pretty much reverse order. From your ear speaker goes in, then this shield, so you've got to make sure that everything hooks in the right place. So this goes in like that, and then you can ignore the other side for a little while, just while you get everything screwed in. So remember, with the order of the screws, I haven't, you know, put them out in the order I've taken them out in, so it's really easy for me to then put them all back in, because I know exactly what I've done with them. And then your last screw for the shield goes in, and then your home button. So you've got to be a bit careful because sometimes it can still have the adhesive left on it from when it was attached to the screen. So make sure that it goes on the little nib circuitry for it. So then we'll fit the screen with all its parts fitted back on. So I'll then put the shield back on. So again, everything goes back in the order I took it out. So for some reason, the top right hand screw from the bottom of the phone is always non-magnetic. Don't know why, but that's why you have to position it a bit better like that. So see if I can find a spare screw because I have lost one. Okay, so just going back to fit the screws in the shield for the screen. So 4 go in either side, so normally I do this beforehand, but yeah, so 4 go in and then we'll plug the battery in. So unfortunately it's not the most ideal thing on this phone, but you have to, unless you've got very small hands, which I certainly don't, you have to plug the battery back in before you can plug in the home button. It's never caused me an issue before, but you know, it's not ideal to be plugging something in live. So okay, and then onto the phone now, so I'll have to go out a little bit for that, and then plug your home button back in, turn the device on, fit your screen to the top of the phone, make sure it's pushed in nice and tight, push down your edges. Now I like to do this while the phone's turning on because I can take a look, see if there's any blemishes. There isn't. Put your 2 screws back in the bottom and that's your screen change complete. Thanks for watching the video. I hope we've been useful to you. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Leave a like, share it, and as always I hope we've helped you.